order paper question rolled across my desk. And it speaks to just how the CBC sees itself, beyond criticism to the point of defying parliamentary rules. And at CBC, they think their activism is none of the business of the people who are paying for it all. It's activism that violates their own standards, and that's fine. And also not answering to Parliament, that's fine too. Rules are for the rest of us, not friends of the Liberals like the CBC. This week, a Conservative MP, Shelby Cramp-Newman, hit a bunch of government agencies with order paper requests inquiring how many people are working in the social media departments at those respective agencies. Now, many agencies responded. For example, that's how I know that the Department of Fisheries and Oceans had 13 people involved in drafting a tweet reminding people not to eat lobsters that wash up on the beach during Hurricane Fiona, no matter how hungry they are. Apparently, it's illegal. So federal ministries responded to the order paper query, and order paper queries legally compel agencies to provide information before the House of Commons within a statutory amount of time, unless there's some sort of extraordinary circumstance preventing the information from being divulged. But not the CBC. When they were asked how many full-time employees were working at the CBC in their brainwashing, social media departments, they couldn't answer that question. How does any grown-up accountable company not know how many full-time employees are working in a specific department? In the private sector, where you're beholden to the bottom line and not reliant on constant subsidies, this is something that you would definitely know. You'd have to. And if your shareholders asked you for it, you would indeed provide it. But not the CBC. Look at this. The information requested is not readily available. To provide the information as requested, the corporation would need to undertake a manual search. How are these employees getting paid if you don't know how many of them work at the company? Anyway, CBC then gave 14 single-spaced pages of social media accounts, including YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn, Twitter, and Facebook that they manage. And it's not just for the shows that nobody watches, that I didn't even realize existed in many circumstances, but it's also for the talent too. On Instagram, 128 separate accounts are managed by the CBC. On Facebook, 235 accounts are managed. On Twitter, 208 separate accounts are managed. LinkedIn, 5. I suppose we should be grateful for the low number there. On Pinterest, they've got 9. On YouTube, 69 separate accounts. There's one CBC Reddit account, thank goodness. And then to make sure that your kids are sufficiently brainwashed, there are 2 Snapchat accounts from CBC and 11 TikTok accounts that they manage. By my rough chicken scratch math, I think that's close to 668 separate social media accounts that CBC barfs into the ether every single day. Each one of the people managing those accounts is fully funded by you, but you don't get to know how many people are doing that boring, obscene, brainwashing work. But that's a lot of opportunities to manipulate the narrative for CBC, isn't it? And if you think I'm exaggerating when I say manipulate the narrative, I'm not. CBC accused the trucker convoy of being Russian disinformation twice. And CBC had to retract those allegations twice. It's a lot of social media accounts, though, to make sure the lie goes all the way around the world before the truth has time to put his pants on, right? Don't you think you're entitled to know who these people are, how many of them there are, and how much they make? Or do you just pay for it all and shut up? I know what CBC wants you to do. If they had their way, nearly 700 accounts would be the only things left on the internet telling you what to think and what to say and what's acceptable.
What you just saw was an excerpt from my nightly show, the Ezra Levant Show. Every weekday I do a monologue. Usually it's about half an hour. Then I interview an interesting guest, and then we read my hate mail or my fan mail, whichever is more fun. It's only available behind a paywall, though. That's how we pay our bills here at Rebel News. We don't take a dime from Justin Trudeau. But the good news is it's only $8 a month, about half the price of Netflix. And in addition to my nightly show, you also get weekly shows from 4 other friends here at Rebel News. So you're getting 36 shows a month just for $8. I think it's worth it. And even if you're not quite sure, do it anyways, because we rely on viewers like you to keep us free and independent. I promise you I'll never take a dime from Trudeau. Just go to rebelnewsplus.com and click subscribe. Thanks.